Welcome to Love is Blind! Over the next 10 days, you're going to date a lot of similar people.
Hey, you! Yes, you! Are you lonely?
Yeah.
Well, then we've got the product for you. Introducing the Cobbler plushie. Scientists, in search for the perfect solution to the problem of our modern epidemic of loneliness, developed the Cobbler plushie in a lab. In order to cure loneliness, 9 out of 10 doctors recommend getting out of your comfort zone. Pick up some new hobbies, or reconnect with some old friends. But that 10th doctor recommends giving me money and buying that plushie. Because of course he said that, he's on our payroll. You have only 21 days to order the Cobbler plushie, and if the funding goal is not reached, you will be refunded. But also, you will be alone forever. That is right, you will be alone forever. Buy my stuff. It's $27.99. There are no ads on this video because what the fuck is this game? Jar not included. Well, Mr. Cobbler, I've got your test results, and I'm sorry to say, you have Asperger's. What? Sorry, I was just counting all the red cars which have been driving by. You have Asperger's. I just walked in here. I've only been sitting here for 6 cars. How could you possibly know that? Well, we've been talking to your family, who claim you've been going on long, unhinged rants about the beef industry. Well, I, 7, make YouTube videos about a great many topics. It's just been a particular interest recently. You see, I think it serves as a great example of your father said you went to a job interview at McDonald's and didn't get the job because you said, quote, "I am eager to become a servant to the unfathomable hunger of the machine." Well, they said they'd call me back. Listen, it makes sense, okay? All the things I say make sense, but only if you live in my head. You see, the problem is with you when you really think about it. I'm sorry, are you trying to convince me you don't have Asperger's? Alright, I made a video about this. Alright, just watch the video and you'll understand.
Randall, there is a cow outside.
You fucking idiot. That's not a cow. That's Ig, from the classic Nickelodeon film, Barnyard. Ig is a steer, or possibly a bull. WikiBarn, the Barnyard Wiki, does not have a genitals section on the character pages, which is my own personal 9/11, so we can't be sure. However, Nickelodeon really messed up on the film itself in a pretty basic way. Otis, the lead of the film, and cartoon spinoff, is seemingly a steer, but has a fucking udder. Or... okay. Did Nickelodeon drop the ball? Or has Otis actually been a trans icon this entire time? Fuck it, change the video title! We're getting to the truth! Sorry, this is YouTube. I am legally required to begin every video from a place of unearned, moral/intellectual superiority, followed by over-intellectualizing children's media. Domesticated cattle come in many varieties. Bulls are uncastrated adult males. Steers are castrated males. Calves are juveniles of either gender. Heifers are adult females which have yet to give birth. And yes, a cow is an adult female head of cattle who has given birth at least once. There are, of course, a wide variety of breeds. To name a few, there's the Longhorn, the Aberdeen Angus, and of course the famous Holstein variety, known for their distinctive black and white spotted pattern and fat, juicy mommy milkers. Different breeds have been bred selectively for millennia and are suited to a wide variety of climates as well as a wide variety of purposes. Holstein, for example, are intended for dairy production and are more well suited to cooler climates. A domesticated cattle beast can be a draft animal, beef cattle, which is raised to be slaughtered, or, of course, a dairy cow. But what happens when a male calf is born on a dairy farm to a breed that's generally used for dairy production? That seems like a flaw in the system, right? Like a glitch. But surely there's still a use for them. They probably stick around to be bred, you would think. Someone has to make more dairy cows, and despite what the liberal media may tell you, you actually need a mommy cow and a daddy cow who love each other very much to make a baby cow. But male Holsteins are not kept for this purpose. Most dairy farms use artificial insemination, and one bull can produce enough genetic material to inseminate countless cows and heifers. Having many bulls in one herd is expensive and unwieldy. So,
Open order burger, what can we have for you?
Hi, I wanted to get a sweet and spicy bacon burger. When a male calf is born on a dairy farm, God rolls the dice, and about 1/5 of them are shot in the head.
Appreciate it.
You too. At least, according to the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board, around 19% were shot within 2 days of their birth in the UK as of 2018. The less lucky ones are raised for veal, and the truly unlucky ones are castrated, partially to be more docile, and partially because testosterone flavors the meat in a way that tastes off to our modern palate, and they are then sent off to a feedlot, where they are corralled into pens so small they can barely move, and are then fed an antibiotic-laced, calorie-rich, and plastic-garnished feed, before finally, blessedly, being processed into cheap beef. Fast food hamburgers, mostly. I'm not telling you this to try to turn you into a vegetarian, right? Like, this is so much bigger than you, or me, or anyone. The reason I want to discuss this is because whenever cattle are born, they are born into a machine. It's easy to say that the machine is cruel, but I don't really think it is. It's more callous. It's not that it's trying to be brutal, it just sort of has to be to accomplish its goal of delivering dairy and meat products cost effectively in massive quantities. Car engines produce heat, but you don't use one to heat your living room. The cattle simply do not know what is happening nor why it happens. They cannot comprehend the machine into which they are born. The machine which includes grocery stores and marketing and investors and customers and government subsidies which influence what sort of feed they're given. The machine that castrates them, brutalizes them, enslaves them, then kills them has goals beyond their comprehension. From the cattle's perspective, it's not a machine that creates meat and dairy products. From cattle's perspective, we're just torturing them for no reason. In the initial hours of SCORN, you are exposed to alien machines that serve purposes you do not understand. You fiddle with them, and the common running theme is that they're clearly missing something, some sort of egg-shaped device. You ascend up this tower filled with strange machinery until you happen upon a wall of egg-shaped objects. Naturally, you get one of the eggs, and then you find that they are actually filled with some sort of sentient but unintelligible creature. As you take this egg creature through the machines you were idly fiddling with only minutes before, the creature does not try to stop you, it does not try to escape, but it does show that it is in intense pain. You, as the player, do not know why you are doing this. The creature does not know why you are doing this to it. Devoid of objective markers, instructions, or a single word of any language other than new game, you fed a living thing to a machine that you did not understand simply because that was clearly what the machine was made to do. This whole area is empty, of course, but feels like an abandoned factory. I could imagine a guy at each of the various machines that you use, blithely doing the same motion, over and over again, just as much a part of the machine as the machine itself, or the egg creature it processes. Hey Jim! Yeah, Bob? Did you hear it's Dan's birthday? Gonna have cake in the break room during lunch. Oh, what flavor? I remain unconvinced of your supposed normalcy. Oh no, this is just what normal is now, because of microplastics. No. Don't you see the connection, though? That SCORN may be saying something in the first hour about the player and the role they will play in the game. What the fuck is SCORN? You haven't even talked about the video game in the title. What the hell is this? I get to that. SCORN is a game which has had quite a bit of buzz for a while. The nearest analog to it, I guess, would be Atomic Hearts, another game which is very attention-grabbing, purely by virtue of its art style. And they both sort of had this cool-looking video game you'll look up again in 2 years, only to find it was cancelled energy. SCORN, at least my reading of what SCORN was, from the new trailer, which would drop every year or so, was that it would be a first-person shooter, whose only interesting aspect is, of course, the H.R. Giger-inspired art style. H.R. Giger's work has found his way into video games before, quite a few Metroidvanias in particular, and of course the various Alien games based on the film which Giger worked directly on. So Giger was an artist who made nightmares, surreal, industrial, sexual, alien nightmares. A running thread through a vast majority of his work is machinery that serves a purpose that's impossible to parse. What the fuck does this do? Or this? Do I even want to know what this one does? I do not like it. SCORN could have just copied Giger's homework and built a first-person shooter or a survival horror game with Giger wallpaper. It would have been fine. It probably would have still been one of my favorite games this year. However, the inscrutability of Giger's machinery finds terrifying expression in this game. If you gave a steer the intelligence of a man and it realized its species has been enslaved by walking monkeys that cut its balls off and turn it into hot dogs, which are then fed to fat little greasy children, do you think it would want to kill itself?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
If it understood that all of the unimaginable pain that it and everyone that it has ever known has suffered has been in service to fucking Happy Meals. It would undoubtedly be horrified, viewing the existence of itself and its entire species in a new, horrifying context, while also knowing it was powerless to change anything. I do believe this is a significant part of the reason Giger's art is so unnerving. Machinery you don't understand. Doing things you can't shake the feeling you cannot understand. When you build a world which resembles Giger's inscrutable machinery and put the player within it, lacking any guidance whatsoever, the cosmic horror just happens. Because I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I feel like that egg creature in the first puzzle. Throughout SCORN, you are subjected to horrible things, and you subject other beings to horrible things. All in service to a larger goal that you do not understand, and cannot shake the feeling you cannot understand. What is the most basic video game puzzle design? You press a button, a box pops out. You weigh a switch down with a box, a door opens. The greatest trick SCORN pulls is putting a button in front of me and filling me with dread as I contemplate what the fuck that button does, while also knowing I have no choice but to press it. As I pressed a sequence of buttons over the course of its 8 or so hour runtime, I'd gotten no closer to comprehending the sum total of the machine and what exactly all the pain I had inflicted, and had inflicted upon me, had been in service of. There's not a single level in this game where pain is not inflicted either on you or on a third party in a way which feels callous and uncaring and mechanical. The egg creature in the beginning, the suffering I'd inflicted upon it, leered at me from the back of my mind in the final moments of this game, as I too was fed to a machine outside of my control and beyond my comprehension. What is SCORN about? What did I do? Why did I do it? I don't know. But I do know this. There is one ending to SCORN, in the same way there is one ending to the life of a bull calf born on a dairy farm. You may be shot in the head the day of your birth. You may be caged and fattened and killed for veal, or castrated, corralled, and slaughtered for cheap beef. The roads diverge, but they lead to the same place. Wherever the machine needs you to be. So your argument is that SCORN is really good cosmic horror because it makes the player feel like an insignificant part of a greater whole that is larger than they could comprehend. Yes, exactly! I have the good, normal brain. A player's experience is akin to the experience of cattle processed by the beef industry, as they both suffer intense pain, but the pain is not inflicted because the machine is malicious, but rather because the comfort of the cattle is simply of no concern to the machine as a whole. I'm so glad you can now see that I'm normal. Normal? No. There's certainly something wrong with you, but I don't believe you have Asperger's. You are certainly stupid, though. Yeah, save it for the comments section, guy. Anyway, can I get 8? Wait. Was that red? Was that car red or maroon? What? Was that car red or maroon? What was its fucking hex code? Don't you have security cameras facing the street, huh? Where's the video codec? I need raw files, raw, so I can color grade them and check. 9.